and hello to our next episode of Coaching Couch TV. Today we have on our couch, we have amazing ladies who's been in coaching industry for quite some times and they're doing different things. We have Natascha, who is a mental and physical wellness transformation coach. We have Catharina from Sweden joining us. She's a life coach, healthcare consultant, and a horse rescuer. So, hello, good evening.
Hello.
Thanks
Hello.
for joining me today, Catharina, Natascha. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, Daria, for having me on your broadcasting show.
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. We'll start with Natascha. Just short about yourself, what you do.
Yes, so my background is, it was in fitness. So I have a postgrad degree in sports and exercise science and medicine. And so I really started as a personal trainer and then slowly added a lot of different qualifications onto it. What got me into coaching was really my desire to be able to create more long-lasting results for my clients. I always felt that I was their biggest cheerleader and their biggest motivator. And the moment they stopped paying me lots of money for my services, they
Oh,
unfortunately fell back to their old ways.
mm,
And I don't like working with people for a very long time. I actually want them to be self-sufficient as soon as
mm-hmm,
possible.
mm-hmm.
So I was working at New York University, Abu Dhabi, at that time, and I was also already working with HR there, developing wellness programs for faculty and for staff. And so I spoke to someone in HR about getting a coaching certification, and funnily enough, he was in the process of getting one himself at that point.
Mm,
So
mhm,
we actually decided to do it together. And so the first certificate in coaching that I did was results certified coaching. There was a lot of neuroscience in it, which really engaged me, triggered my nerdy side. And then I established a science lab at NYU as well. So we did our own research in the areas of wellness and
wow.
exercise and the correlation between the two.
Mhm,
And I did another coaching certificate in systems and relationship coaching, organizational systems and relationship coaching.
mhm.
And fast forward, I'm a horse guided empowerment therapist, so that's something that I use as well. And I now have my own company and my own methodology, which is creative coaching, and it really includes all the elements of physical and mental health and well-being,
Mhm,
because I believe that
mhm,
they are so interconnected, and we're never really considering the many different approaches that we have, the many different ways that we can influence our health and our well-being through nutrition, for example. It's scientifically proven that we can do it, but we don't use it. It's not prescribed.
uh,
Movement the same way. It starts getting a little bit better, but what I hear is, just do yoga. It's it's like saying, well, just eat
Yeah,
something. It's not specific enough, so it's not
yeah.
being used as a prescriptive measure. Like, what is yoga going to do for you versus what is endurance running going to do for you?
Mhm, mhm.
So I'm very passionate about combining all of these elements, and that's what creative
Oh,
coaching is all about.
thank you. Thank you. That's fascinating to just to put all this together and get to know all these different methods, how to use it to 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 just to help people. That's really really great. Thanks, Natascha. Katarina, a few words about yourself and about your passion.
Yeah, it started for me when I got a whiplash, and I the company said, you have so much pain and everything, and so we're gonna let you go. And so what did I do then? I thought I have to find something to heal myself. So I educated myself to be a health and a life coach, and so I could help others going through the
Mm-hmm.
same thing that I did, because I was already a career coach before that. So
Mhm.
I put everything together in one pot. And during this time, I also had my horses, because I have had my own horse since I was 15 years old. And the horses has always helped me through whatever
Mm.
happens in my life. So even with my neck, when it was injured, it was because of the horse. I had to go there. I have to, like, okay, how I'm gonna do this with my neck? How can I do things easier when I am with the horse? Everything you have to do, it often is very hard work, and I had to find ways to do things in a better way with my body. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm self-learned on to move from pain to no pain, and so, but I educated myself. For people said you have to educate yourself to, so you have a name. Whatever you do, you cannot just do it. Okay, then I go and educate myself. So
Mm.
and so now I have my own ranch with my horses, and I'm doing horse therapy. uh, so I combine everything in one
Mm-hmm.
session with everything, with people today. So um, and that is my passion is horses, and I know what horses can do for people, and I know Natascha knows what I'm talking about. The horses are doing the work. For me, I just have some questions, and then a lot of things happens with the persons that come here. I
Mm-hmm.
just see the magic is happening with them. So yeah, I'm fortunate to do this and work with this. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, horses are, I agree, they're amazing animals.
yeah,
Um, even I know that there is a kind of not therapy, but there is a way to teach people not to be afraid of animals, of horses,
Mhm.
because some people are living in, well, city life, or they never been exposed to animals. So horses are one of those animals that will be introduced first before dogs or other animals. So horses are more stable and probably their nervous system, so they can teach humans just to trust, and that's how it goes. Yeah,
yeah. Do the
that's.
walk and talk with the horse.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
very powerful thing to just go with the horse, and people say, okay, you're not riding. No, we're walking the horse. Okay. Instead of the dog, you take the horse. Yes, it's not so. People found it funny, but the power is when you're walking with the horse. So
Hmm.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah, when
things
you're really
happen.
walking with the horse, when you have
Yes.
that
Hmm.
connection.
Yeah. Do you use the reins or horse walking by itself?
The rain, I have the rain because
Hmm.
we go out in the forest here.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the rain is slack, so you don't
Yeah.
go like
Yeah.
this. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
let the horse
A
walk.
relaxing walk.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
Mm.
I do both. So we go for walks, but I normally work in the paddock, and
Yeah,
mostly in the paddock it's without
yeah,
any constraints.
Hmm.
So we try to build that connection that the horse will actually walk with the client without any need.
And what an amazing feeling when such an animal just goes and follows you or goes next to you. It's empowering. It's like you have a connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Um, well, we'll start with some questions. I have prepared some. You've seen them, and I want to ask Katharina about coaching. What coaching means to you?
Uh, I I see it as when I meet somebody, I am like zero. I know nothing. I don't want to know anything what has happened to the person, no background. We just start from where they are, and we're looking for their solutions
Hmm.
and for
Hmm.
what is good in
Hmm.
the life, and there we go further in those moments.
Nice.
So just
Natasha?
keep
Mm,
that
I'm
pace, and
sorry.
and
Hmm.
and not go away on the side track to be negative. Just go there with the solution.
Hmm. Hmm. And Natasha, what coaching means to
Yeah,
you?
very similar to what Katharina is saying. It's really facilitating the client's thought process and
Hmm.
facilitating goal setting. It's a big part in my methodology, is really being clear about goals that we're passionately connected to, that we're really engaged by. And yeah, and of course there's that element of keeping the client on track, making sure that they follow through. But it's very much a client driven process always. And yeah, I mean, I know we'll come back to the horses a bit later, but with the horses, it's even easier because, as Katharina was saying, the horses do a big part of the work,
Hmm.
and that it's actually easier as a coach for me to remove myself even more. Because if you're sitting with someone face to face, it can be uncomfortable to hold the
Hmm.
silence, to hold the space in silence. For the client to work through and to come up with new ideas. Um, and yeah, but it's also what Katharina said. It's just being empty, kind of, and just really allowing the process to happen. That's what I love about coaching. It's unpredictable.
Hmm.
Even though
Hmm.
I have a structure, whether I work with the horses or without the horses, I have a structure that I follow. But yeah, the opportunities are limitless because, of course, every client is individual, and so is the outcome of each session.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's a discovery of new personality, of new stories of the people,
Hmm.
which usually happens, and you find enough about different life stories, which you otherwise you wouldn't even know. You would just live in your own bubble. But I think coaching just gives this new perspective, new appreciation for human life, basically. And Natasha, you are as a wellness coach. You work a lot with nutrition,
Yes.
right? So how is that important with our how is it connected with our well-being? How it's important for us?
So, I mean, there's many ways it is important. One way, and that was really the first thing, the first reason why I wanted to include nutrition and movement into life coaching, is that every life coaching problem I've ever come across comes down to self love and self care, or lack thereof. And so I cannot work with someone on a problem that's related to self love if the client then mistreats themselves by not eating appropriately,
Mm-hmm.
not moving appropriately. So it's a great element. It's the biggest element of self care, right? We only have one physical body, so we need to take care of that. But then we can also go all the way down into a biochemical level. So we know that our hormones and neurotransmitters are affected by the way we eat. So most people have heard about happy hormones, especially serotonin. We all hear about serotonin. So serotonin is actually mostly produced in the gut. So we need a healthy gut bacteria to be able to have a serotonin production. We have dopamine, which is the reward hormone, which is not that well affected by exercise. But again, not that well affected by nutrition. It's more affected by exercise. And the same with endorphins as well. But again, we create a biochemical balance for happiness through nutrition and through exercise. So if we leave that out of the equation, then we're just missing such a severe part of what we can achieve, right? We can never achieve the full results if we leave these elements out. So yeah, so I consider nutrition an element of balance. Yeah, creating a balance, creating the possibility for greater happiness. I can't say it any other way. And it's rewarding as well, right? It's rewarding. Like for most people, once they manage their nutrition, and I never work with diets. I never, I don't care about weight loss, because once you have a nutrition that is suitable for you and for your lifestyle, the weight loss, if it's needed, is going to happen automatically. Yeah, it comes as a byproduct. But what
if
we
everything
gain,
in balance.
exactly, So, and it's very rewarding again for people, because most people overthink nutrition so badly. Like we think we have to do diets and we have to do this and we
Eat
have to
kale
follow, eat kale all day long and nothing
all
else.
day.
And so it's very funny how easy it actually is to rebalance nutrition, and and it's very funny because people always like really overthink it. There's a lot of things I hear very often is but so I'm having someone, and let's say their eating is, let's say, 60% right, yeah, but they have 40% that's not great. And but then when I ask them to make small changes, often there's, but I thought that's unhealthy, and I'm like, okay, hold on, like you're doing this, you're doing this over there, like how do you think this is worse than what you're already doing, But then there's an element of being swayed by what they hear on social media, But then by other things, people don't care because they want to do it. So that's why it's important to find a nutrition that suits you. It's like it's okay to have your no-goes, and I'm not eating that, and also your no-goes, and I'm not quitting that. I will keep eating that, and you just balance it out. It's all about balance, isn't it?
Yeah. Where would you say the best source for information about nutrition is? Because, as you said, usually in social media, it's all about weight loss. It's about eating just greens or eating just yellows or whatever the color they pick the next week. There is no like a balance. Yeah.
No, I think the greatest source is ourselves. We just need to listen to ourselves again. And whenever I work with clients with anything I do, it's like the question is, does this make sense to you? Does it, like, you hear it and you feel like that it's right? That's the greatest source, because you will find everything. I mean, with science, when it comes to as I told you, I was doing research. I mean, you can design a study in a way that it proves and disproves everything. It's very easy, and also, I'm saying I'm not against diets. I mean, listen, keto diet has great benefits for the right
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Do I think it's suitable for everyone? No. Does it have very great reasons for being there? Yes. So of course, if a client comes to me and they've done their actual research and they tell me, like, these are the health benefits and this is why I want to do it, because I believe this is what I need. I'm not going to say, no, you shouldn't do that. If you're convinced that this is what you want to do. But this is what I'm saying. Trust your gut, literally, And lots of people have very good awareness of what is good for them and what isn't, but they don't want to hear it. And And we often want to hear that something very complicated is going to
Mhm.
work much more than something easy and simple that we just have to stick to.
Mhm.
We're not going to see the results of a well-balanced diet in 2 weeks. You're going to see
Mhm.
it if you listen to your body. You're going to see it soon. You're going to feel it soon. You're going to feel better. Um, yeah, but people don't want to hear that. So it's really, bringing it down to just trusting yourself. Because as that information, yeah, I can give you even well-researched information to prove and to disprove everything. Sorry, I know that
So
doesn't make it easier, but
no, no, no. It's basically all the answers every person have, whatever will work for them. And you,
yeah,
as a coach, you will be just there to for the support, for keeping them accountable, for the
yeah,
life change, the change in
yeah.
diet and
And
sticking to it.
yeah, and I'm saying nutrition is easy, but there is a layer that is very difficult, and that's deciding what's important to us because we can consider nutrition from many different aspects. We can just care about the nutritional value, or we
Mhm.
can care about organic food, or we can
Mhm.
care about not processed food, or we can care about environmental friendliness in our food sourcing.
Mhm.
We can care about social responsibility in our food sourcing. So that adds a whole other layer that we need to consider. But again, that's very client specific.
Mhm.
I mean, I can work with someone who is like, I want to learn about my macronutrients and my calories, and then we make our
Mhm.
our meal plan based on that, and I'm fine with that. If
Mhm.
someone comes to me, I'm vegan because of my social economic
Mhm.
responsibility. Um, yeah, then we include that.
You'll
If your
work around
main
it. Mhm.
Yeah, and you have to do that because again, it has to fit the client. So
Mhm.
these are the areas that make it a bit more complicated. Um, yeah, just wanted to add that because I said, nutrition is
Mhm.
simple, and I don't want it to come across as I'm oversimplifying it because, of course, there's a whole other layer to it.
Mhm. Mhm. So you oversimplifying it. By that, you're still making it complicated. That it's really not. Yeah, it's really not that for just a regular person because there is no place where they can learn about it just by themselves. It's still too complicated to read about it, to find about it, because it's
No, but
always
but
comes
all
with
the good
the.
information is out there. I mean,
Mhm.
every region in the world has their own way. Remember the pyramid that we
Mhm.
used to have. Now we kind of moved away from the pyramid to a plate. I don't know if you've seen that graphic. So now there's more symbols of a plate. So they are the official guidelines.
Mhm.
So you find official guidelines that are very simplified, that are very easy, and you find them all over the internet. For children, for adults, for everyone.
You just need to pick the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, as I said, you can still modify it based on what's important to you.
Mhm.
Because if you say, okay, I see this plate, so I'm supposed to have that much vegetables, but I really just want to eat organic, and I can't get that much organic, so I'm gonna have whatever. I'm gonna replace it.
Mhm.
You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or people don't want to have dairy products for whatever reason, or can't have dairy products. So that's where it gets a bit more complicated.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's. Um, thank you, Katharina. I know that you had some personal relationship with the well-being and how it's important in general.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you are in pain, that I was, it's very important what you put into your body also. So I
Mhm.
had to learn to do what Natascha is talking about, listen to my body, because what I put in, and I have to think after that, was this a good thing for my body or was it a bad thing? How did my body react on this?
Mm.
And after a while, I said, no, this is not a good thing for me. I have to put that away, because that, even though it was good, but my body said, no,
Mhm.
this is not the right thing you are supposed to put into your body. And so then you have to try, like Natascha is saying, different things that are similar on what is good for me.
Mhm.
And that is what people nowadays, they don't have the time to
Mm.
do that. They would just want to have, like, can you give me a program so I know what to do and what not to
Quick
do?
fix. Mhm.
The quick fix, there are no quick fixes in life. You have to go through and feel. And when you take the fried potato and said, oh, I like this, but I don't feel so good afterwards, what does
Mhm.
that tell me? Maybe I won't do that. I can do potato in another way, maybe that is more good for me, if I
Mhm.
like potato in some way. So, and so I have learning by doing, even with food, because I have also had a lot of uh, other problems in my gut, as you say,
Mhm.
Natascha. My gut didn't work in a good way, so I had to start eating something that are cleaning my colon, or in a proper way. So I didn't have stuff that was
Mhm.
left in my gut that stayed there and made me sick, more sick than I have
Mhm.
to be. So and because of it, I had this with my neck. It is like an inflammation that is in the body, so I had to be very cautious with the food. And from there, I learned a lot about that also.
Yeah. Well, that's from your personal experience, and thank you for sharing. But can you tell me some interesting cases that some people come into you and it's really um, the fix? Okay, again, I'm not talking about fix. Okay, the solution is basically in front of them, but they suffered for a long time without even seeing it.
Do you
Um,
want me, or you
Yeah,
asking?
sorry, Katarina. Yes, I'm still, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is for me, can be very frustrated when I see that they have everything but they don't appreciate it.
Hmm.
So the first thing they have to do is to start writing down every evening what they are grateful for.
Hmm.
That is the first thing, I because people are often not grateful for what they have. They're just searching for something they don't have.
Hmm.
So I always start with looking at what you already have,
Yeah, yeah.
and then things start to be more clear for them after they are doing that, and they will be more grateful in life also.
Hmm.
So and people that are stressed, that also is not seeing clear of things, it's also the same thing. They do the list of gratitude every night, and they do a list of a small list, just
Hmm.
maximum 6 things that you are supposed to do the day after. But you do it before you go to bed, so you can have a good sleep and don't have to think about tomorrow at all during the night,
Hmm.
because that is also people being in their head during the night sleep, and that is not a good thing either. So
That's an interesting point because I usually tell my clients to do it in the morning. You wake up and you're telling yourself things that you're grateful for. Maybe some journaling, but I'm telling in the morning. But it makes sense to do it in the evening. That it doesn't
grateful you can do
stay.
in the morning and in the
Hmm.
evening. So but
But as
So
you said, it is not staying in the back of your mind. You can actually sleep after you're doing your to-do list. Or you can do gratitude in the morning and then to-do list in the evening. There are
yes,
two
yes,
variations, yeah.
yeah,
Different
yeah,
variations.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think it's time to talk about the main elephant horse in the room. Katharina and Natascha. You are two out of many, I presume, because you're the only people that I've met virtually that doing coaching with horses. But now that I'm reading about it, yeah, there are people who does this. Um, how did it come about? How the idea, like I understand when you have horses, you're around them, but how's the idea to use them to help people? Where did it come from? If Natascha, you can start.
So I think the origins are more in equine therapy. So the traditional equine therapy was we put someone on a horse, and they will benefit greatly from a variety of things. So one is the movement, so
Hmm.
people of determination, people that were movement impaired, for example, they can feel the movement of the horse and benefit from that. And then there's the element of the connection. So, for example, children with autism, children and adults with autism, would feel very safe and comfortable. So there is actually a lot of research in that area around the electromagnetic field of the heart of horses. So
Mm.
we all, every living thing, everything that has a heart has an electromagnetic field around the heart.
Right.
So because the horse's heart is much bigger than ours, so we get easily pulled into the electromagnetic field of the horse. And now horses are special. So when you were talking earlier about why horses are being the first ones introduced if someone is scared,
Mm.
it's because horses are actually animals of prey. So dogs and cats are predators, right? So they're a
Hmm.
little bit more scary in their behavior. Um, and then, of course, we have all the little insects and everything, but they're a little bit unpredictable because they just look too different for us to always be comfortable with them if someone is scared. So horses are animals of prey, but they're also social animals. So they like the interaction with humans, and they are herd animals. So they're already used to that herd setting. Um, yeah. So and then from the equine therapy, I think that's when it started that people understood, hey, we can use horses for a lot more than just putting someone on their back and just using that element. Even so, again, that has a lot of validity. It's not as if the traditional equine therapy is bad. Having said that, I've worked with an autistic child who've gone to equine therapy for almost 2 years and had never touched a horse because they would just put
Hmm.
him up on the saddle and then he would hold on to the saddle and then he never
Hmm.
touched a horse. So that's a bit of a problem, right? If we're not actually having that kind of connection, we're not getting the full benefit. So there's quite a few of different equine therapies out there, coaching methodologies. There's Iagala, there's Horse Dream, there's a whole lot of different ones. The one that I got trained in is called Horse Guided Empowerment. It's a fusion of a few different other elements, and also psychology, traditional speech therapy, and yeah. So I think I answered the question, right? So why horses?
You did. You did. I'm
Many
just
reasons
fascinated.
why horses.
Yeah. I'm just still thinking about the horse's heart bigger than humans and this
Ah, yeah.
electromagnetic field. This
So
is this
so
is
there
their
is a
secret. Now I know
Yes,
why people are so attracted to horse. This is their secret. Yeah.
yes. And so there is a lot of measures being done how our heart rate calms down in the presence of the horse. And it's not actually the heart rate, it's the so you might have come across when you have a modern smartwatch that takes
Mm-hmm,
your heart rate.
mm-hmm,
They also measure your stress, right?
mm-hmm,
So they measure stress based on the heart rate variability. And
mm-hmm.
that's actually, so as our heart beats, we have like when you've seen the
It
cardiogram, we
ups,
have the
downs,
big
yeah.
lines and we have the small lines. So
Yeah.
the variability is how well balanced this is. How what's the word I'm looking for? How aligned it is. So if there's a huge
Mm-hmm,
variability, so sometimes the distance is longer, sometimes it's shorter, it's longer, it's shorter. It has a higher variability, which means more stress. Yeah, we're
mm-hmm,
calm and relaxed if there's not so much variability. It's very regular. That was the word I was looking for. The more regular our heartbeat. So it doesn't really
mm-hmm,
matter if your heart rate is 70 beats per minute or if it's 55 beats per minute. That's more an indicator of your fitness. But the heart rate
mm-hmm,
variability is what we're looking for. So it's been measured that horses actually help to decrease the heart rate variability,
mm-hmm,
just being in their presence. So that at least temporarily creates a more stress-free environment for the person. Okay. It doesn't mean that they're already cured of anxiety and depression. It just means in that moment, they're more relaxed, they experience less stress. So as Katharina was saying, they can think clearer, at
mm-hmm,
least in that moment. So then we get to work in an environment where we can make more effective changes because
mm-hmm,
we're starting on a different baseline. If I'm talking to someone who's up there and super highly stressed, they're going to be, yes, 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 you're right. Yes, 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 I should be doing that. Yeah, yep. Yes, I know, but they can't listen. They can't work with the input. They can't properly hear and understand because they're in their fight or flight state of mind. So the horses really help to create that environment. And so all of that is science. It's
mm-hmm.
is
And this
validated.
gets very addictive, and people just going back to horses. This
Yeah,
is how they start the journey,
because
because
you
I've
experience
been there. Yeah.
mhm. You experience the effect right there and then. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's also what makes it so powerful is that, again, if we talk theoretically, it's nice to design your paths and your goals and your dreams and the mindset that you want to have to reach these goals and dreams. But then you have to
Mm-hmm.
go out into your real life and you have to find it within you to make these changes. With the horses, we create scenarios where people are already experiencing that different mindset. And we get the feedback from the horses. So we
Mm-hmm.
see if the person is already in that different mindset or not. The person
Mm-hmm.
feels it. So they've already felt it once. They already had that amazing experience. So it's much easier for them to take it outside of the paddock, away from the horses, and put it into their real life because they already had it, you know. And again, it's very empowering to work with a 700-kilo horse. Okay, my Arabian horses are a bit lighter. They're maybe just 500,
Mm-hmm.
but you walk with a horse, and you can only imagine how you can actually affect other people with your mindset as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, Katharina, the same question to you. Like, I understand you're rescuing horses. You grow up basically with them, but why horses?
Um, I just love everything that Natascha is saying because she's coming from another side of this and seeing it from another side that I am doing. So I just love to listen to her. And for me, it has been from the beginning that my horses has been my healers and my teachers
Mhm,
at the same time. Uh, and as I then moved to be working as a coach, I implemented it with coaching and with the horses, um, not taking any money from it in the beginning. I was just having young troubled girls coming to me, and we just be with the horses. And after that summer, they found purpose. They knew what they were supposed to do, and I don't know what happened, but it happened. So I
The
just
magic of horse.
yes, I just understood what I myself have been through with my horses since I was 15. They have helped me doing clarity and doing a lot of personal development, because they have helped me doing that. So that's for me what's so easy for me to just fusion this together, because I had my horses, and so um and I always see that when a person comes to my place and they come here and they be with the horse, whatever we are doing in the paddock, we are walking, or they are like maybe going with the head down and troubling in their head, and after a short while they are like up and looking up, and they have a smile on their
Yeah, just a
face, and
big horse. Yeah.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
some, like everything is just, what trouble did I have? I don't remember it anymore. So they are like transforming in front of me, and
Mhm.
it is I'm just grateful to be able to be there to see the transformation. And like Natascha is talking about, the people are coming and they going through this paradigm that they just see what is
Mhm.
coming to them, and they can see it in that moment, and it's much easier than when they go back to their normal life again to bring it,
Mhm.
because they can have that moment in their head with them when they are like in the normal life again.
Okay.
Because the moment that happens for them is a really big impact for them. So it
Mhm.
makes a big difference. It's nothing that you can just shovel away and say, oh, that only happened once. It isn't. It is a very big thing that happens. And that is a very, that
Uh,
is so, yeah, I
That's what
cannot,
they remember. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
they remember it.
Yeah.
So it becomes more easy for them to use that
Mm.
when they are
Mhm.
out in the normal life again,
Yeah.
because you go into a
Okay.
bubble
Yeah.
when you are with the horse.
Yeah. By yourself, just two of you, just the two of you.
Yeah,
Yeah. um, Natascha was saying, and I'm sure you will agree, Katarina, that horses do um, give a feedback
yeah,
about the person they're working with, about trying to be coached. Have you ever seen the reverse? How to say? Have you ever seen people that actually the horses didn't want to work with these people?
yeah.
So
I
it
have two
happens. Hmm.
horses, and one of the horses have to decide. They are like, who is attracting this person more and can help
Hmm.
this person the best, because
So,
you go out and in the paddock and you meet the horses, and one of them is coming to that person, even the other one goes away and says that this is for you to work with. So uh, and but if the person is in a very negative and is not uh, being themselves, they are authentic them, the
Mm-hmm.
horses are pushing them off often. They are like,
That's what I wanted to
come
ask.
on,
What
come
do you
on.
think is the reason? Yes, why
Yeah,
the
yeah.
horse doesn't want to work? Mm-hmm.
It has to be in what state they are in, and the horses are like, they want to push them out of that statement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not every horses that is doing that. So I have two. So one of the horses is taking the assignment with that person, because it's not, it's, you cannot just say this is the horse you are gonna work with,
Mm-hmm.
because I let the horses
So
choose.
you're not choosing the horse chooses you,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. The horses
Well,
are
yeah.
choosing the person. Yeah.
Do you think it's because of the negative energy, or they can feel like toxic people, or some all this
Yeah.
underlying human condition that they're trying to hide?
Yeah, but I see that the horses are often taking that away very fast.
Hmm.
Because what do you say about that, Natascha? Because I see that it they maybe go back to that outside the paddock, but when they are with the horse, it like flies away for a little while.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they can like feel how it could be without that, that they
Hmm.
are the statement they maybe most of the time are in, that they have to change.
Yeah, no, I agree fully. And also, I think, if people come to work with the horses, it's not really negative energy. It's just their baggage that they have that maybe doesn't allow them to be authentic, as Katharina was saying. And I think this is what the horses go by. You're either
Hmm.
authentic or you're not. This is why simple leading exercises, leading the horse, can be very difficult. So I do a lot of exercises where, as I told you, I work with goal setting. So we put a little parkour, little obstacles, nothing that the horse couldn't, with closed
Hmm.
eyes walk over. But the client will give these obstacles a meaning, right? They can be either their goal they want to reach, or it can be what's holding them back and they have to step over it. And if the client doesn't believe that they're able to do that, then the horse will stop. Or I had other horses coming and blocking the way.
Hmm.
I'm sure, Katharina, these situations where suddenly the other horse comes in and then does something, that is very, very powerful and very meaningful as well in that moment. Yeah, so I always say, horses don't speak human, they just speak energy. So, and I had sessions where older horses kept to themselves on one side of the paddock, didn't want to interact whatsoever. And, sometimes it's just the presence of the horses. So sometimes just being in the paddock is enough for the client to open up.
Hmm.
And, sometimes, we have good days and bad days. I mean, the horses respond to my energy as well.
Yeah.
I have days where suddenly a horse is doing something with me where I'm like, yo, can you please go to the client now? Like, I know I'm having a bad day. We can deal with that later. So they will sense that for sure. And of course, they're a bit different. I had recently, I had a session where a horse was just constantly coming back to me. They
Hmm.
did not want to stand, they did not want to stay with the client. They were just coming back to me. And
That say something. Hmm.
yeah, and of course, for the client initially, it's like, oh, because he knows you, la la la. But then you question, like, okay, so how are you feeling? What were you feeling? What was your response when the horse was walking away? What's the learning that you can get in that? So there's always a learning, even when the horses walk away. And as
Hmm.
Katharina was saying, and as I was saying before, just the presence of the horses already changes normally the energy.
Hmm.
So it will help the client, even if it's a session where the horses are not as present as they sometimes are.
Hmm. But still, there is some results will come out of the session. Mm.
Yes. And even if
Um,
it's just the
mhm.
client understanding that they're not being authentic.
They actually accept that. They say, yeah, that's not me.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think, for a lot of, I mean, we all have that problem sometimes, right? That we're not being
we
fully
do.
connected
We do.
to
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. I mean, no matter how much we work on ourselves, we go through phases in our lives where, without even realizing, we might have built a wall. We might protect ourselves. We might be more withdrawn.
Mm-hmm.
We might be whatever, just not balanced, just not
Mm-hmm.
authentic, and we might not realize it. So for most people, that's a huge eye opener. If that's the only outcome of the session, it's a very powerful outcome to realize you're actually not connected right now. You're not authentic.
Mm-hmm. You're not being
And then,
yourself, basically.
yeah, and then there's the next session to, to dive deeper and to unpack that.
I
And you
actually
see,
had
mm-hmm.
had I actually had an incident when um, I had somebody came here, and the person was very, very stressed and not um, the person was in their own life, but they were like talking all the time. And I say,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we just take the horse and we walk for a while. But my horse, he used to be just walking very smooth. He was like electric. He was like
Mm-hmm.
somebody has put some electric, and he was like all over the place. He was just running away from this person because he said, I don't want to be in near that person. So I just had to say that person, excuse me, but you have to go on that way, and I have to go home with my horse,
Mm-hmm.
and we can go together in the wood together, but not with the horse, because my horse does not like this at all. He just felt all that electric
Mm-hmm.
bad
The
energy
energy.
that
Mm-hmm.
came out from this person, and he was just exploding, and I have never seen him like that before. So uh, you can really read on the horse
Yeah. Did you find
what's
out the
happened.
reason?
Yes, I found out the reason. Yeah.
So it was just a bad day for the person?
Mm, it was very deep.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. But I said
Mm-hmm.
that uh, the horse, it wouldn't function with the horse. She had to like
Mm-hmm.
calm down before we could do with the horse. But the horse didn't want to do anything with that person.
Mm-hmm. So they do feel
Yeah,
us. Not only we are connected to the attracted to the heart and electric impulses, but they also feel us. What energy we are bringing to them.
absolutely.
Yeah, they're amazing animals. All right, we are already almost an hour, and we would be talking more and more. Um, quick two things before we go to our very interesting segment, and then we'll be closing. Um, quick advice on how to take care of yourself, your well-being, and easy nutrition for every day. Just like 1 to 3. Natasha, if you can start. Just the easiest one, simple that anyone can do.
Taking care of your wellness, I think the easiest thing and yet the hardest is to actually look where the biggest shortcomings are. So what I mean by that, people are always very easy, most people have one thing that they do very well with. So let's say meditation and breathing exercises comes to someone naturally. But so they're more likely to then do more of that. So, oh, I can do, I'm a bit stressed, let me do another yoga class. But they're already
Mhm,
really excelling in that area, in that field. So they would see the biggest benefit from something that's the most challenging, right?
mhm,
So I think is sitting down with yourself and really going like, what aspect of wellness is the hardest for me, and what is a very small step that I can do in that area. So, for me personally, it's just to give a more practical example, the hardest thing for me is balance, work-life balance.
Mhm.
Uh, so small steps that I try to take are to just be very strict with my diary and to put downtime into my diary, and that downtime has to have the same importance than anything else. So anything that's in my calendar has the same importance. In the same way I wouldn't cancel on any other meeting, I don't cancel on a meeting with myself as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
just a personal example. If you're doing really well with your scheduling and this what I just described, but your nutrition is not great, then that's where you want to start.
Okay. Okay. That's a good advice. Yeah. Katharina, from you?
From me, and that is what I'm giving every people, that you just stop and breathe, because
So
people are,
easy.
yeah, just do 5 deep breaths, and close your eyes and do that very, very slowly, to just calm down and get your shoulders down, and do that, and you find that you get more energy and more oxygen up to your head, and
Mhm.
and the day will be better. So whenever you feel stressed, or like, oh, now I'm going to the next meeting, just stop and do those 5 breathing.
Mhm.
That is, I think the most people can put in that in their life, to help between
Yeah.
everything that we are trying to do, because
Mhm.
I understand Natascha what she's talking about, and we are quite similar, that I have to be very strict with my schedule, because otherwise I am juggling with different things.
Mhm. So don't forget
So I
prioritize
just
yourself
say
as
one
well.
thing, and
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
the breathing. Yeah.
The breathing. Mhm. Yeah. That's so. That's that's very simple, but again, you just need to practice them uh, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natascha. Thank you, Katharina. Okay, quick segment of our well unpopular opinion, and this is where we're discussing some comments where we can find online some skeptic remarks about coaching. So for today, unpopular opinion is um, coaching cannot guarantee change. So why would I pay a lot of money and go to see a coach if there is no guarantee? Uh, Natascha,
There's
you can
no
start.
there's no guarantee for anything in life, is there? So that was my first thought. Was like, okay. No, and I agree. It cannot guarantee change, because again,
Mhm,
it's a client-driven process. If the client is not ready, nothing is going to
mhm,
happen. If the
mhm,
client is not, and change is difficult, right? Let's face it. I mean, um, we're more comfortable in our current situation, even if our current situation is painful. Like we're more
mhm,
afraid of change than we are of the pain that we're experiencing right now.
mhm,
So it depends on the person's risk appetite, to step into the unknown and to be ready for that. And not everybody is. And some people think they are, but then when they start the process, they're being held back. So no, there is no guarantees. But at least then you know that you are not ready. If you don't
mhm.
try it, you don't know. So you've learned
Okay.
something.
Okay. Okay. Good one. Yeah. Katharina.
Yeah. I agree with Natascha, and I can say on that very fairly that the guarantees is only for things that you buy.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
not what you have to do with yourself in personal development. And for that thing is that we are doing personal development. We are changing every day because we are not the person we were yesterday. So something new you have learned today is that you are thinking or doing something different. So that's the
Mm.
guarantee. But only if you want to it to happen to yourself and see it.
Very, very wise. That's thank you. Yeah, that was fun. It's not I honestly have to say, when I was preparing for this episode, and because it's about horses, I went to one of the Facebook groups, big coach, I will not name. Um, and there's a big community. So I was like, okay, I need skeptics' opinions about coaching with horses. I received a lot of replies, and none of them were negative. It's always positive. I was like, guys, you're not helping me. Uh, I'm on air in a few days. I need to prepare something. So I
Yeah,
could not find even one negative, comment, negative thing. So everyone is sold out on the horse. They're
Yeah,
buying in. Yeah, once you show them it's a horse, yeah, okay, I'll come. Just for the interaction, and this interaction actually benefits you.
yeah.
No, no, that's
Katharina,
amazing.
I want to come and visit your farm. It's just
Yeah, me too, me
You are
too.
so you're welcome, the both of you. I have nice guest rooms here so that you can come and
Oh,
stay
thank
here.
you. I can stay with a horse in the stable. It's fine. I really don't mind. They're amazing.
Yeah, but they are like outside, so it's not so far for you to go out
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to say to both of you, it was a pleasure. I will not hold you any longer. Just a few words before we end. Just a quick reminder for whoever is watching. Please like, share, subscribe, put notification that next time you will know what kind of episodes we are coming with. And we are live on Thursday, every Thursday at 10 p.m. and UAE time, or 7 p.m. UK, Ireland. Yes. This is it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed, everyone. It
I
very
was
much.
enjoyed it
Very
a
interesting.
lot, and I really have want to stay in contact with you also, Natasha.
Yes, we're
So,
thinking the same. I'll
And
and
get
this is
you
Daria, I
how
details
was
from
so
more
Daria.
coaches
grateful.
meet. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful, Daria, to having us
Mm,
together here
my pleasure.
in
Yeah.
your couch.
My coaching couch. Yes. Yes. Anytime when you feel like, when you have a topic that you can weigh in, that's you're most than welcome, both of you. All right.
Thank
We'll
you
keep
so
in
much.
touch, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.